Hello everyone, it's Irene in here again. So, I'm still not feeling completely well. And yesterday I was really masking because I was already probably like babbling things because I really just wanted to end the game and the streaming itself because I was full of pains. So, I think I was masking it very well, but I was not good at all. So today is going to be another day, which I don't know how it's going to work. But since I have a place to go, um, today I am thinking about, contrary to what I had planned at beginning, today I'm going to try to do demos that are a bit less extended, more like 1 hour and a half, 2 hours or something, more like that. Okay. So yesterday, more at the evening, I took a peek at some of the demos that I had planned to bring you, and I started noticing that some of them were not even viable for me to bring to you. And why is that? Well, because the translation was just really, really bad, really bad. So there are some of them that I had to completely erase from my planning because I was like, no, this is not viable. Because I bring them, in a raw state, like I have no idea about them, and I think most of the ones that I have right now, they are kind of okay, but I didn't actually got too much inside of the games to be able to tell you like that they were completely good, but from what I saw, they were kind of like okay, most of them, okay, they were okay. And I think I've got lucky because most of the ones that we already did together in here, most of them were good. There was like one or another that was kind of like not good, but what I want to say is that they weren't completely bad. You could still like read it and get a feeling of what was going on in here despite the auto translation machine behind it. So, yeah, today I was thinking about bringing you, at the beginning, bringing you the Rose of Segunda. And I'm hoping this one is going to take me like 1 hour and a half. I don't know. And what was I going to say? So it's funny, like segunda for us in my language, it has like two meanings. Segunda means like the second, or it actually can mean Monday. Yeah, it's funny, but it has nothing to do with my own. Like this game has nothing to do with my own country or my language or whatever. It's just that it kind of reminds me, the word in itself, it reminds me of that. So I already saw that the font of this one for me is really bad, really bad. The font of this one is bad for me. For me, I'm picky with those things. But I thought that it could actually be kind of like interesting. So this one is from Blackcross and Tyler, and it's completely out. It costs about like $8, and it takes you like probably a maximum of 10 hours to complete, something like that. And this is from 2018. Okay, it's not from now. It already has some years. And it goes like, in the kingdom of Segunda, the crown prince's birthday celebrations are traditionally where he is expected to choose a bride. Your mother, the Duchess of Florentia, is very keen for her only daughter to become the next queen, so she sends you and your mischievous brother Frederique, along with your family steward Bastien, to do fortnight-long celebrations. Of course, just because your mother has her gaze fixed upon the prince does not mean you must follow suit. Will you act like the perfect lady and convince the king to select you as the prince's betrothed? or show your true colors and perhaps catch another's eye. Decisions made in the outset of the game will determine your personality, with possibilities ranging from a diplomatic scholar to a bawdy hellion. And these, in turn, will open additional conversations, options, and scenarios that can help or hinder your relationships with those around you. And it tells us that we have 6 romantic paths, and 4 of them are male and 2 are female. Okay, so this is LGBT. Oh, it doesn't say in here, but it is open to LGBT. Okay, but it doesn't, like, it's not categorized as that. Funny, right? Yeah. Okay, so maybe let's try to start these. I probably still have to adjust some settings in here. I don't know. Let's see. Let me put the microphone in a good way. Maybe like this. Okay. I'm standing beside a window, gazing out from a room I won't see again for a while. Or perhaps ever. To think that in but 2 short weeks I may be engaged, and to the future king no less. Even after all these years preparing for this moment, it does not feel real. Of course, mother has had it planned since the moment of my birth, with the prince born to the ruling house. But 2 years before, as soon as I was discovered to be a girl, my mother saw this as our family's chance to regain our former power. Okay, with a prince born in the ruling house, but 2 years before, as soon as I was discovered to be a girl. She was only discovered to be a girl the 2 years ago. Okay. Okay. No, it's just like, what? For as she is keen to remind our household, it was but 7 generations ago that Parasi sat upon the throne. I was just saying this, yeah, sure, she can be a trans, whatever. It's just that I was like, wait, just only 2 years ago they discovered she was a girl. What? Like, I don't, it's not making sense. And so now I must join the many other young nobles at the palace for what is ostensibly a celebration of Crown Prince Guillaume's 20th birthday, though I doubt even he believes that. It has been the tradition that 20 is the age when the crown prince or princess marries. Princesses are encouraged to marry the strong, the clever, the powerful men who could be kings. Princes, on the other hand, Segunda had a queen once, over 300 years ago. She had not been born to the throne, but when the king died, she refused to step down and took a stand against those dukes and marquises who would have seen her replaced from amongst themselves. Yeah. I think it's just, you can even notice when I'm reading it, you know, in my narration, that I'm not even giving the emphasis that it needs, because I think it's the font that it's kind of messing with me. Like, the idea of this font was probably to kind of be more close to the font that they used during those centuries, like probably like the 17th century, something like that, to kind of like simulate something closer. But for a person that is on this side reading, is like not actually the best on a digital content. She was not the victor though, and now history paints her as a power-hungry tyrant. Be it a true account of her character or not, since then all chosen brides of the royal family have been of a very similar disposition. Meek, mild, and without a thought in their pretty little heads. In the saloon outside, the sounds of my mother arguing with Frederique drift through the wood, muted but still quite audible. I cannot believe you would send your only daughter off like this. She has always known this was planned. It is her duty, something the other members of this family understand. Do you think I wish to spend the last decade overseeing her education? Or every spare moment at court flattering the king to ensure we remain where we belong, as the most powerful, most prestigious house in the kingdom? Of course I did not, but it was my obligation and I bore it without complaint. Duty, there is that word again. I must go for duty. Frederique must accompany me for duty. That word seems to be the cause and consequence of everything that happens in this house. But then after today, I won't be in this house. A jovial rap upon the door starts me from my musings. Minette, are you decent? Saint's mercy, Frederique, cease using that ridiculous pet name. Your sister is a grown woman. Are you ready? Should I put Irina? Sometimes I like to use the Bambi one, but I don't think it's fitting in here. Irina, what are you doing just standing there? Come along, the coach has been waiting all morning. Oh my, pray forgive me, mother, for I had not realized the hour. Do not bother using your pretty manners on me. I know well enough your true nature, though I am glad at least you are ready for the pretense. Now, Irina, you know for whom the king will be looking. An even-tempered, modest girl who hasn't a thought in her head. That is right, sister. I hope you are ready to put your years of education to good use as the next royal Lord. Irina does not have to be an idiot. She merely needs to present herself as one. There are subtler ways to exert one's influence once one is married. And why should she play such games? Why can't she just speak her mind? It is insulting. Insulting? That is a fair assessment from you. Lazy scoundrel, you are ashamed to this family, spending your days carousing with your friends and racking up debts in every gambling house in Florentia. What else would you have me do? I am the younger son. Francois is heir and learning his role from father. There is no need for me. Yeah, the font is hard for me. It's hard to read it like this. If you would just let me take on a profession and have the court gossips crowning about how we cannot afford to keep you? Certainly not. What poor luck we have had of late. With Master Bertrand still abed, I cannot be spared from the estate, and then your father and Francois send word they are delayed at the southern holdings. How I wish your brother had returned in time to escort Irina in your stead. My mother's complaints are silenced by a polite Bastien, the son of our steward, appearing in the doorway to bow. Your Grace, the rest of the trunks have been taken down to the coach. Good, thank you, Bastien. At least I know there is to be a one level head among your trio. In place of Master Bertrand, I will be relying upon you to ensure matters run smoothly and to inform me the instant they do not. I will endeavor not to disappoint the trust you and my father have placed in me, Your Grace. Endeavor, right? Endeavor. I will endeavor. Yeah, it's already hard for me to read the font, and then it's like the raw thing, Indeed. And you, Irina, have you finished your packing? Not quite. Fine. Well, we will await you outside. Come, Frederique. Bastien, go and tell the coachman you will be departing shortly. Sometimes I don't know if I should say these names more in a French way, because you have names in here that are French, but you also have names in here that I think are more like Italian type. Because Di Paresi is more like an Italian type of name. My mother hurries the man out before her and the door slams shut. I pause a moment, watching motes of dust sparkling in the light from the window at my back and feeling almost lost in the sudden stillness. It is too late now for wool gathering. I should finish packing. Ah, stupid trunk. It's too full. What to take out? Okay, a book entitled Hard Arithmetic for Young Ladies. A bottle of Burkhart's fireproof whiskey. My toothbrush. Like, there's no way that I'm not going to pack a toothbrush. I don't know. I think that's like with everyone, you know. So the question was what I was not going to pack, right? The whiskey. I think it was that, right? God, it's the morning. I'm still not good. And after all the trouble I went to sneaking it out of father's study. Finally packed, I summoned a servant for my trunk and joined my brother for a hasty farewell. Now take care, Irina, and remember, all our hopes ride with you. Yeah, Di Parisi, yeah. It sounds more like an Italian type of name. Now, Frederique, yeah, it could be like this. That could sound more like French. Although I don't know if they do not put it in another way. Yeah, no, Frederique. Yeah, it's probably like this. It's a mix in my head by now. We love you too, Mother. With a rumble, the coach sets out along the gravel drive, and I have to fight not to turn and take a last glimpse of the house. Frederique is inside with me, while Bastien has his place next to the driver. Bastien is also kind of like a French name, Bastien. And so that's why I was like, should I put them more in a French way? I don't know. My brother seems to sense I do not wish to talk, and for a while we travel in silence. Outside the window, the world rushes by in familiar farmlands and distant hills which make up our province of Florentia. Like, feels like Florence too, yeah. As picturesque as a painting brought to life. The Parisi hold more land than any other noble house in the kingdom, including the royal house of Vilquine. In fact, I would say our power and influence among the nobles rivals that of the ruling family, and I wonder, for what feels like the 100th time, why my mother is so obsessed with the crown. Yeah, like I do feel like names in here might be more related to the French, which kind of makes sense because, like, when you think about like this era, you kind of think more about like France and all of it, isn't it? I think that's why they always try to adjust to the French. It's like when you think about the industrial era, you think about the English, man, and like we kind of do associate some eras with certain people, so I think it's because of that. My brother is clearly enjoying the scenery as I am, a way marker for the next town catching Frederique's eye, and he glances to me with a smile. Well, we are making good time at least. We should reach Tivoli well before sundown. Yes. You know, there is nothing to say that once we arrive in the town, we even have to leave it. What? You know, there is nothing to say that once we arrive in the town, we even have to leave it. Okay. It's just like sometimes, I don't know if it's me, if it's the sentences that do not make a lot of sense to me. I don't know. I didn't actually saw a lot about this one. But there were some sentences in here that I thought they were very well done, and then there are others that I feel like I don't know if they are making sense to me, but maybe it's me, I don't know. 2 weeks carousing with your older brother does not sound so objectionable, does it? I imagine Mother would raise plenty of objections once she got word that we had not arrived at the palace. Well, she should not be sending you in the first place, having to live a lie just to get a husband, and also Mother can boast about our family's return to the crown. Do you truly plan to go through with this? Are you going to bow to Mother's demands and court the prince? Yes, why not? Yes, it is my duty to try. No, I don't know. I always like to put myself during those times, and we have a tendency, because like this is a visual novel and you choose whatever you want to do, we have a tendency to see things in the eyes of the things that we have nowadays. But when you think about those times, I mean, it was her duty. It was honestly like that. We have another notion, I already told you about this. We have another notion about having a companion for life and all of it that is always related to love. But during these times, it was nothing like that. Like, we love to romanticize all of it, but it was nothing like that, okay? It's not because of that people didn't have their own preferences in terms of who they loved and all of it, but duty was above all of that. You know, it's not like our times, okay? It's more like that. So yeah, I'm not going to say why not, because I have no idea who he is, and if he's not going to be like a bastard, I don't know. So I'm just going to say yes, it is my duty to try, to try at least. I don't know, we'll see. Mother has been preparing me for this since my birth. I will not disappoint her. And what about your duty to yourself, to be who you are, the girl I am proud to call sister? And forgive me, I know it is not a decision you have undertaken lightly. If that is your wish, then I can do naught but support you in it. I'm your man to the last, Irina. We share a smile, and the comfortable silence descends again, holding us until the driver somewhere above pulls the coach to a stop with a shout. The couch, sorry. Outside, the sky is a deep amber, and setting the once verdant meadows ablaze, the faded blue of twilight just creeping in over the eastern hills. Yeah. Like, I'm glad that this is just a demo, because for me this type of writing is just, the font is just terrible. I honestly am having difficulty reading in here. The town walls of Tivoli are looming from the road before us. A collection of inns and taverns huddle before the gates as though they too crave the shelter within. Oh, we've reached Tivoli. That is odd. The gates are shut. Above me, I hear Bastien's frustrated tones. Guardsmen, why are the gates closed? Why? Everyone knows the town gates shut at sundown. You'll have to get a berth in one of the inns outside the walls. Yeah, I don't think this is like one of those where you have like translation or something like that. Yeah, because a lot of the words that I'm seeing in here are words that are very English, like the birth. Yeah, I think it's me sometimes that I read some sentences and they do not make much sense to me. I don't actually know why. So that is his game. He likely has an arrangement with one of the inns here to send the last few arrivals to their doors. We will do no such thing. We have rooms already prepared within the town, and it is an hour yet until sunset. Well, now it seems we have a slight disagreement here. I suppose I had better tell them just who we are. Do not bother, I shall get us inside. Guardsman, if you wish to delay our meeting with Sir Bardine, then be my guest. Oh dear, can't your town afford as much daylight as the rest of Florentia? Be reasonable, man. I mean, we can be a bit sarcastic, but he's not going to like it. Let's see. Poor Tivoli, and I heard you were quite the prosperous little town. But fear not, I shall be sure to tell all my friends, and together we will raise enough coin. All right, I'll open the gates. Perhaps we could hold I think it's a fete. And sell cakes and yeah. I think, like, you're seeing this word, I think it doesn't have like those little accents in there, but I think it's a fete. A fete in French is a party. Okay, perhaps we could hold a party, a fete, and sell cakes. And I said all right. The coach stutters forward once more, clattering between the gate posts into the emptying streets. The town folk are returning to their homes and families with the dusk, the welcoming glow of each window gilding the cobbles at their feet. Some shout greetings to each other and they pass, and I wonder, not for the first time, what such a life would be like. Sorry, but it's the sound. The sound is kind of killing me. Oh my god. Yeah, more like this. Across the carriage, my brother lounges against the plush velvet cushions with a proud smile. Well done, sister, you got us past that fool with but a word. It was no trouble. I know you do not like throwing our name about. No, I do not. It makes me feel too much like Françoise. And here we are. The inn Bastien has arranged is a large building over 2 stories. An archway set through the center leading to a wide courtyard where the stables and a coach house are situated. Inside it is hardly as well appointed as my home, but it is clean and comfortable, and a young maid shows me to my room, her blonde curls bouncing with every step from beneath her starched linen cap. The majority of our trunks are stored in Bastien's room, the maid reappearing at my door only a quarter hour after leaving me to deliver my small travel case, and I take a moment to tidy my clothes and hair before joining my brother in a private parlor to take our evening meal. I'm told the maid will be arriving shortly with your dishes, and there is a footman outside should you have any requirements in the meantime. Oh well, thank you, Bastien, but if that will be all, I will retire to my room. Please do not hesitate to alert me should you need anything. Bastien bows and turns smartly on his heel, the click of the door cutting off any more I could have said. He didn't stay long. No, he probably didn't think it was proper, and to think there was a time we considered him a brother. Now you are kept always at your lessons, Bastien and Françoise, at their differing duties. I'm thinking, sometimes I stop. It's like, because I know the words, but I don't know the pronunciation, and so I'm like, I stop because of that. And I spend most of my time at the university. It is as though we are a household of strangers. Even us. Never us, mean it. I would write a letter to you over any essay or examination that university would care to set, though it costs me my degree. Pray don't. If you fail another term, Mother will only send you even further away. And what does it matter if I fail every subject they set in front of me? Mother will not let any of it lead to a career, even if I pass. She only enrolled me to keep me occupied. Since forfend, I actually became a useful member of the family. At least you are allowed to attend. The way your dean talks my feeble female mind would not even survive a single lecture. Yeah, because this is like done with that type of like more I would say more difficult type of English. And my issue is that I'm having even more difficulty because of the freaking font. I'm always surprised when educated men speak such nonsense. Besides, I do not know why you should want to bother. With a good 12 years of private tutors behind you, you have had a better education than most of the graduates. What would you even wish to study if you could? I would be interested, right? Interested. I would be interested in studying mathematics. Interesting to study mathematics. Okay, maybe that's like how you used to put it. I don't know. I have always enjoyed philosophy. Yeah, mathematics is not for me. I like philosophy more. I like music too, but studying music is another thing. One thing is you liking music. Other thing is studying music, okay? Learning more about history would be fascinating. Yeah, I love history, and although I do not know that much about history, it was always kind of like one of my best subjects. I would like to advance my foreign languages. Yeah, okay, languages is also kind of like my thing. I enjoy books, so studying literature would be wonderful. Yeah, I ended up with literature, but I regret ending up with that. This gives you like nothing. Like during these times, it was another thing, but nowadays it's like, yeah, you're going to end up with what, teaching? Just that, right? I mean, I do not wish to attend. It is just annoying. They refuse to admit me. Let me put myself during those times. Do not think about today. The most interesting thing during those times for me, it would be studying philosophy. Yeah, because you wouldn't know much about the world, and philosophy would actually be a very entertaining topic to have during those times. Although philosophy could actually kind of like turn you into some kind of a rebel, with new ideas in your mind. So studying the works of the old masters and trying to find meaning in the world around us and the mysteries of existence. I've always been too occupied enjoying existence to look for any meaning in it. My brother sighs and leans forward to rest his chin on his stippled fingers. It seems an age since we have been able to sit together and talk like this, and yet all too soon it is to come to an end, sorry. I rouse him from his brooding with a slap to the arm. Come now, there is no point in dwelling on what's to come. Let us enjoy our time together as we may. A knock at the door behind us. And that must be the maid. Enter. I am correct in my assumption. An older woman entering, bearing a large tray of simple but what turns out to be quite delicious dishes, and my brother finally abandons his melancholy air. We talk and laugh as we eat, Frederique regaling me with stories from the university. His life so packed with boating trips, drinking parties and pranks, I am surprised he even has time to attend his classes. Our meal finished. We retire to our rooms and to bed, and I find I sleep surprisingly well under the circumstances. With another day of traveling ahead, Bastien wakes us early and I am dressed and leaving my room with the dawn. But a few steps carrying me to the next door along the hallway, where I attempt to arouse my brother's similarly. Frederique, are you ready? I shall just be in a moment, Minette. You go on ahead. As you will. I turn on my heels and almost barrel into the broad chest. Suddenly before me, the man dancing back a step in his mirrored alarm. Oh, excuse me. Your pardon, my lady. He recovers himself before I do, the slightest of smiles taking the edge from piercing grey eyes as he bows with an easy grace. Even at this hour, the courtyard is a bustle of people. Our coach is already out, Bastien overseeing the reining of the houses, while a lone stable hand is struggling to load our luggage back onto the roof. His fellows still idling at the kitchen door, finishing their breakfast. My reading is like incredibly stupid right now. Honestly, like I'm really feeling like I'm not even being able to give like the intonation that I want, because it's just hard for me to read like this. Which is probably not even good for you that you are hearing, you know, like it's not good for you either. It's just, I'm sorry, but like it's hard for me to be reading this font like this. The young man looks to be having trouble. Perhaps I could help him in some way. I don't know who this person is. We are not in times to be doing things we should not. Okay, order the other stable hands to join him. Do not help him yourself, girl. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. I mean, this is a game, do whatever. I am trying to kind of impersonate the situation and the time. That's why I'm saying that no, that would not be a good thing. Help him. I'm too occupied admiring him. Okay. Okay, sure. I don't know who this person is. We could do something more like this, but this would not fare well. No. Okay, order the other stable hands to join him. You there, come and aid this fellow at once. Because we don't even know who he is. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know. The men jolt upright as though scalded and are all at once scurrying to help. The coach loaded, Frederique joins us, and we set out once again. An hour or so after we depart Tivoli, we cross the river as Esquine, and leave my home of Florentia to enter the royal province of... I want to say all of these names in French, but I'm like, if I keep saying things in French, you're not going to understand nothing. Esquina, Florencia, Dacre. I would say Dacre, which is more French-like, but if I keep saying things in French, you're not going to understand. We are fortunate that our own province borders the king's. Many other groups will have had far more arduous journeys to undertake to reach the palace. As for Dacre itself, the land it flatters than Florentia, large swaths of it covered in dense forests, which make for a rather dull journey. The road we travel plunging into one soon after we cross the river and leaving little to look at but the same unending wall of trees. I'm sorry, the reading is being atrocious. I know, I'm feeling it too. It's just, as I said. It is not for now. It is not far now, though, and by the early afternoon, our coach leaves the shelter of the forest roads, and the palace is laid out before us, gold under the sinking sun. I'm having the feeling that I would need to read it first, then read it out loud. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm totally feeling that. Like, I needed that. Otherwise, it's just like it comes out like this mess. There it is, sister, the prize for which you will all be competing. I nod absently. This is not my first visit to the palace, but there is a weight to my arrival now, the expectations of the whole family resting upon my shoulders. The coach enters the curve of the drive, and the palace windows flash white like a dozen eyes blinked in unison, eager to get a good look at the newcomer. I can see even from this distance a group of people have gathered before the steps. An older nobleman in well-made, understated clothes stepping forward from the huddle of servants as our coach pulls up. The man waits patiently for Bastien to leap down and help me step from the carriage before bowing politely. Greetings to you, Lady Irina di Parisi, and to your brother, Lord Frederique. I am the king's I don't know how you say this one. Seneschal? Could it be? Seneschal? I know what it's, again, I know what it means, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to say Seneschal, whatever. Corin, and I am honored to bid you welcome to the Crown Prince's birthday celebrations. Which is kind of like funny because, you know, sometimes I see other people playing games too. And sometimes I find it funny because even like the native English people, sometimes even them have like feel like they don't know how to say certain words. Even they are like what, and I'm like, funny, right? Because it's your own language, and even you don't know how to say it. But I mean, yeah, my circumstance is another one, which is I'm not native, so. And also you have like a ton of ways of sometimes saying a word depending of where you are. And I'm not just saying like if you are like in an Irish or a British person or an Aussie or you're in Canada or you're in America, because even in America, when I was in there, you would pronounce certain words in a certain way, like in California, but like in New York, you would pronounce them in another way. So it's like, yeah, it's English right now is kind of like a world, you know? So yeah. Dip your face and shyly curtsy. Of a polite curtsy. Of course, I should. We don't need to be like that much. It's enough. Well met, my lord. The seneschal. I'm going to say seneschal. Sorry, I don't know how you say it. The seneschal returns my greeting with a nod and a smile. Indeed, well, please allow me to have you escorted to your rooms. Margaret. A young maid hurries forward to curtsy quickly. Margaret escorts the Parisi to their rooms. Yes, my lord. This way, please. We follow the maid up the steps and through the huge doors into the palace. Inside it is just, as I remember, a sea of fine rugs cover the polished marble floors, while rich tapestries and paintings crowd the walls. The whole effect is one of grandeur, and very consciously so. Each rare piece seemingly added to, not to delight, but press an idea of wealth, all encompassing of power absolute. The maid leads the way up to the second floor and down a long hallway, other servants pausing to bow as we pass, though that does not stop Bastien from closing the gap between us. Well, that went well enough. I don't know why I was so nervous. You have trained for this almost your entire life. Well, thank you, Bastien. I mean, I know I made it look simple, but it is nice, all the same, to be recognized for one's efforts. I did not mean... Never mind. Here, my lord, this will be your room. Ah, my things. My lady, you will be in here. The maid leads us into a large, well-appointed room, several pieces of lined furniture all vying for attention. The extravagant four-poster bed, with its cloud of pillows, should be the clear winner, though it is not a piece which catches my eye. Before the windows, a large table is soaking up the last of the day's light, and I realize with some relief that, though it's still not a certainty, this inclusion is the first sign that I will not be taking all my meals under the scrutiny of the court. Okay, I understand. Thank you, miss. Do you require anything more before I leave, my lady? Your luggage will be brought up in but a moment, and there is water behind the screen for washing. Well, I shouldn't mind a tot of whiskey or 3. The maid falters. Thank you, that will be all. Yes, sir. The door closes with a soft click and Bastien sighs deeply. Lady Irina. Well, yeah, a whiskey would be kinda odd. But during those times you would have like how do you call it? Like it's like sweet liquor? Sweet liquor. You have a name for it. I'm not remembering right now. That ladies would actually sometimes ask for it, you know, like usually like the sweet type. Yeah, they would sometimes ask for it. Yes. I'm tired, Bastien. Allow me to save my act for when it is truly important. A fair request, but as it is, you will have little time to enjoy it. There will be a ball tonight, a good chance to meet not only the king and prince, but also those other ladies who one might class as your rivals. The Duchess de Paris has studied this matter intensely. There are many other ladies in attendance, but the ones you must be on guard for are Francesca de Allegri, okay? From the lower barony of Soir, but as cunning as a fox. Albertine Parsouf. Yeah, you have some. Let me put it. I can see when it's one and when it's another. You have some French names in here, and you have some Italian type of names in here. Okay. Albertine Parsouf, an excellent musician and a hostess with an irritating laugh. You don't have to read it as I'm reading because I know a little of Italian and I know French, so that's why I'm saying it in this way. Okay, you probably only read English, so you're not going to say it the way that I'm saying. And Charlotte de Souza. Okay, they all come from different places. I'm seeing it. Okay, I'm understanding. Okay, intensely pretty and current holder of the title stupidest creature in the kingdom. Well, at least you have been paying attention to your lessons. It is known that these young women, of their houses at least, all hold the favor of the king. You would be wise to keep an eye on them. I intend to do more than that. Yeah, like, Okay, I really do not want to be that person that is just gambling with that situation in here, but yes, during those times you actually had to deal with a lot of these nobility ladies. Yes. How am I going to put this? So I kind of just want to say that I don't want to care about them and my efforts being into what I came here to do as my duty. But sure, I will take care of the situation too, you know, because I will have to. Okay, I don't want to be like the I'm not going into the villainous type of route in here. Okay, thank you. You know, your mother had her worries for you, but I can see they are unfounded. Yeah, we could have done that route, but I'm just trying to see how things go. And I'm also trying to kind of like go in a way that it would actually fit the atmosphere of that time. It would not be very well seen for you to be just a rebel, okay? Yeah. And I'm saying this because you might say, oh, but you could do it. You could be like that person. Yes. But there is a lot of things that are involved with that. And that's why the sense of duty in here was very important, which is like reputation, like you would be tainting not only your own reputation but your family's reputation, your nobility, and everything. Okay, so there was a real attention to all of that, and that's why I keep saying that in our minds we thought that like we keep thinking that romance like was very important during those times, but it wasn't. There was things that were a lot more important during those times, and actually like a romance kind of thing. Okay, a polite knock at the door foretells any further lecturing. Foretells, I think it's like that. Enter. Your pardon, my lady, but I have been sent to help you with your attire for this evening's reception. Well, there is my cue to depart. Please, Lady Irina, tonight behave as any proper, well-bred young noblewoman, and not the commanding, roguish hellion you know and love. An hour to dress, and Frederique arrives as arranged to escort me through the bustling corridors to the grand hall, where we join the rest of the court, nobles of every station gathered before the throne. Considering we are here for a celebration, it is quieter than I expected, and I can feel attention over the room like the air before a storm. How many of these people will actually enjoy tonight? Well, I know of one who certainly doesn't plan to. My brother is slouched next to me and looking as though it is taking all the effort he possesses not to just collapse where he stands. Come along, Frederique. You can be bored already. It has barely begun. Yeah. Like, if it was me, imagine if this person was me, I would not like to be a disappointment to my family, but I would hate to marry a prince or a future king or something like that. Because I already told you that I'm not the type of ambitious person. So for me, it would be a chore to be married to someone that always had, you know, to be, because you know when you are like the queen, you have to fake a lot too, you know, for the nobility, for everyone, for your people, for everything. I would hate to take that part. I would hate to kind of like be marrying like the kings or the princes or and all of that. Although we do have a lot of these type of love interest and situation during these when you have like these type of games, you know. But when I think about like if it was me in a reality situation, I would hate to marry like the prince or the king, and you know, I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was like whatever, the fourth, the fifth prince that would never get like that type of attention, but like marrying like the next king or something, oh, I would be like, no, that's like too much effort, you know, like it wouldn't be for me. I'm not bored, sister, at least not yet, but can't you feel it? The atmosphere here, it's choking. Well, it's true. For me, I'm an introvert. Yes, I know what you mean. It is as though something is crushing me, not outside, but within. Frederique glances about us, craning to examine others in the crowd. This surely cannot all be overvying for the prince. Half of those here don't even have a dog in that fight. No offense. None taken. At that instant, the faint murmuring about us dies, and the room seems to straighten as a figure steps before the dais. Lords and ladies of the court, His Majesty King August of Segunda. The seneschal seems to fade into the background, or perhaps his presence merely cannot compete with the arrivals of His Majesty King August, ascending the dais in clothes of gold and red like a phoenix taking flight. Yeah, I also don't know how you say this. Dais. Yeah, okay. I say it like that. I'm sorry if you say it in another way. It's like this little step that you have in here. Okay, and I'm saying it in the way that I know. But it's this little step in here. A rainbow of jewels encircles his fingers, throat, and brow, bright against coffee hued skin. My honored court, allow me to welcome you here on behalf of my beloved son, Guillaume. Okay. I know he is as eager to celebrate his birthday as you all are to share it with him, and I am sure he will come to know some of you very well over the next fortnight. But for this evening, please enjoy the festivities. At his nod, the orchestra opens with a stately waltz, and the crowd about us moves to disperse. Well, this is it. Then I'm sure the prince will be touring the room later, though when he will reach us is anyone's guess. Sorry, this is like really hard. You are entitled to actually dislike this one because the when I put the video out, you are entitled to like dislike it because even I am not liking it because I'm having a really hard time to even read this. But it seems like I think like the story is actually quite okay and good. It's just I am having a hard time reading it because of the font. You don't have to wait with me, you know. I bet half the young men here have already stolen away to play cards. Why don't you go and find them? Really, you do not mind? Of course not. There is little point in us both suffering. Besides, I can assess the competition while you are gone. Bastien will be so proud. You are a saint, Irene. Here, Gregory. My brother bounds off after his friend. Having so much hard time. My brother bounds off after his friend, another young man, no doubt making a stealthy exit. And now we wait. My, such a melancholy aspect. I thought this was to be a celebration. Melancholy. Okay. I turn to the voice, the words leaving my lips before I can stop them. The gentleman from the inn. I am honored you recall me, though. I fear I have the advantage here, Lady di Parisi. Please allow me to introduce myself. Leopold Stavissi, at your service. Okay. The Duke of Tremaine. The very same. It's kind of like still feeling if I should say this in the correct pronunciation or not. I feel my suspicions rise and take care to ensure nothing of them shows on my face. The lessons my mother had me learn by rote echo about my head, and I can almost hear her voice at my ear repeating the words in silent duet. Once a power in the kingdom surpasses only the Parisi, the house of Stavissi fell into ruin but 15 years ago due to mismanagement and poor connections. Yeah, because Di Parisi and Stavissi sounds like Italian names. The bulk of their lands were divided up and sold off, and all worthy company shid from them lest they be tarnished too. The old Duke of Tremaine died a few years after the scandal, leaving his son to inherit his title and his disfavor. The man before me merely smiles. He likely knows what I'm thinking, but what else can he do? We must all play the game. Yeah, so like the idea that I have in here is that they might be kind of like rival houses. It is a pleasure to meet you finally, Lady di Parisi. Please, Irina is fine. Very well. I have heard you often spoken of here at court, Lady Irina, and yet this is the first time I believe we have met. My mother prefers to represent our family in that regard. That she does. Would that I had a willing relative to shoulder such a pleasure on my behalf, but alas, it is mine alone. Still, this celebration provides many new faces. Tell me, are you here to win the prince just like every other giggly young lady in the room? Why, I don't know what you mean. Certainly not. Why are you hoping to try your chances? I probably should choose this one. That is why I have been sent here, but none of your business. Yes, listen, I cannot. It's impossible. I have to. Why are you hoping to try your chances? If you insinuate with the prince, then no. Yeah, I was insinuating with the prince. Yes, you understood. If, however, you are referring to yourself, well, you will just have to wait and see. Until next we meet, Lady Irina. I watch as the Duke's back disappears into the crowds once more. Though the throng, I can see many familiar faces, though no one I particularly wish to talk to right now. At the back of the room, servers are busy setting out dishes of food, and it strikes me that I have not had anything to eat since a snatched meal at noon. If Frederique were here, I could send him off for a plate at which I could then serendipity. I cannot say this word right now. It's the morning. I cannot. Surreptitiously pick, but as it didn't came right. I know. I have the notion. It's just not coming. Sorry. But as it is, I will have to brave the horde myself. It's like yesterday. Remember, there was like another word that I was like, oh, it's not coming. And this has to do with like English. You don't notice because it's your probably I don't know. It depends the person that is on the other side. But English is probably like your mother tongue, so you don't notice. But English, you roll a lot. You roll your tongue a lot, and sometimes it just doesn't come out from me. You know, it just doesn't because it's not my mother tongue, so it doesn't. I cannot roll it sometimes. You know. I take a step from my haven at the room's edge, trying to avoid the jostling crowds when... Oh, your pardon, my lady. No matter, I should have been watching where I was going. There's a lot of bumping in here, which actually, it wouldn't actually happen that much during those times. Bumping into each other is something that we have more nowadays. But let me tell you, during those times, you wouldn't bump so much into each other. I do not believe I recognize you, and I thought I would know all the ladies in attendance. Irina di Parisi, daughter to Duke Claude of Florentia. Florencia, I want to say Florencia, because it sounds a lot more natural to me, Florencia. But yeah, whatever. I try to put it in a way that you can understand better. I am pleased to make your acquaintance. Oh, it's another Italian one. Okay. Sofia Veniti of the city of Garluccio. It is a pleasure to meet you. I do not recognize the name, and that can mean only one thing. She is not of the nobility. Yeah, it's funny you have like French and Italian in here. But you do have like the borders and all of it, so yeah, it could be because of that. As though she can see this thought upon my face, she giggles lightly. I have never ever seen such a magnificent building before. Father was so fortunate to receive an invitation for me. And Master Veniti, he is... Why, Father is the head of the Goldsmiths Guild. Wealthy and powerful, I can see how this young lady secured her invitation. Garluccio is famed for its fine jewelry. Master Veniti must be a very important man. Oh, I do not really know about that. I just spend my days sewing and playing with my kitten, Soufflé. I think like having this mix of like French and Italian. Okay. He's a Perusian white and ever so fluffy. How rare. I heard they must be imported from Perusia on special ships. Well, that is what the importers say, but I believe they originated as an offshot of the lacquer long air that were then selectively bred with the white. She stopped suddenly, a hand clamped to her mouth as though she had just uttered the vilest of oaths. You are not as stupid as you seem, are you? Oh, do not worry, I do not imagine many of these girls are. It is the prince I pity. He might actually be the stupidest one of the lot. You really do just say what you think, don't you? To you, certainly. I'm not trying to marry you. I do not know what to say to that. Yes, she's like of low birth, you know. She's of low birth. She's not very clever. She's trying to pass by a person of a woman of high society, but she's not. And our protagonist already understood that. I do not care, but if you tell anyone what I said, why don't you tell me more about your theory? Say what you want. No one will believe a commoner over a lady. Say whatever you wish. I have no intention of pursuing the prince either way. Well, we do. I think. I don't know what she wants. I mean, we do it just because of our duty. I'm not saying that I'm interested. I haven't seen the guy yet. Let's say what you want. No one will believe a commoner over a lady. Okay, it could be, although a bit arrogant. Why don't you tell me more about your theory? No, I'm not interested. I do not care, but if you tell anyone what I said... Let's see what she's going to say. Then you can tell them I am not as I seem either. Then we each have a secret to silence the other. Indeed, please excuse me, my lady. Sophia dips a curtsy and trips off through the crowd, leaving me to continue my path over to the table. A tantalizing selection of dishes are currently being appreciated by the attending noblemen and those noblewomen too old to care. Proper young ladies do not have appetites. I gaze longingly at the food, my mother's strict lectures rooting me in place with indecision. Grab something small and stuff it whole into my mouth. Resist temptation. Yes. Let's not do something we are not supposed to. Just take something from the table and eat it. All this nonsense about not showing an appetite, or what did they think young ladies subsist, sunshine and compliments. It was okay for you to take it. And you should not just... I didn't have like a good choice in there. You should just eat little. And you should do it in a very etiquette manner way. And you should like take like little bites and not actually do it like she was just saying and stuff it in your mouth. Yeah, that would be extremely unpolite. I take an interesting looking pastry covered in cheese and mushrooms and am about halfway through it when... Hi, you are enjoying the food, I hope, my lady. And there before me is Crown Prince Guillaume, the next in line to the throne of Segunda. Yes, I am indeed, your highness. Forgive me, though we were formally introduced when you were presented at court. It was some years ago now. I am Guillaume. It is a pleasure to meet with you again, Lady de Parisi. The pleasure is mine, your highness. Please, I insist you call me Guillaume. If you will but call me Irina. The deal is struck then. Though it has been a long time since I saw you at court, I know the Duchess attends my father here regularly. How is she faring? I left my mother in good health. And your father, the Duke? He is away at the moment at our southern holding with my eldest brother. My older brother Frederique attends me here. I'm glad to hear it. The conversation, if you could call it that, lulls, and I wonder if the prince is as bored of these niceties as I am. So are you enjoying the gathering tonight? It's not a yes, very much. It's not a patch on my 8th birthday party. It would be better with a little bit more wine. I'm kind of tempted. Well, the room is laid out all wrong and the decorations are too gaudy. Okay. At the same time, so want to, because she's an alcoholic type of person. Okay. Patch on my 8th. Okay. Okay. Yes, very much. Thank you. Let's not. Well, good. That is good. Across the room, the king somehow manages to catch Guillaume's eye. I recognize the summons when I see one. It seems my father has need of me. It has been a pleasure, Lady Irene, if you will excuse me. I watch him leave and turn back to the room, my path suddenly blocked by swathes of colored silk and 3 faces with whom I am more than acquainted. I think he would have liked me to have said something in that situation, because he probably, like our mother was saying, that we should be like very decent, polite and naive type of person, but I am like guessing that he probably likes another type of person. But I was kind of like, yeah, sure, I just met you and I don't know yet. Oh, was that the prince? How can you even ask that, Lady Charlotte? Who else could it be with such a countenance, such an aura of regal perfection, such... Ah, Lady Albertine, you forget yourself in your ardor. Lady de Parisi, it is an honor to meet you once again. Likewise, Lady Francesca, and is that not Lady Albertine and Lady Charlotte as well? How are you enjoying the festivities? Yeah, all of these names, there is a way to say them in French. I'm trying to adapt in a way that it feels more natural to you, okay? There are names that I cannot try to put them. For instance, Guillaume, I cannot try to put them in English. It would just sound really awkward, okay? So when I see that it's a name that I can kind of like adjust to English because you kind of have like something alike, I'll do it, okay? Why the splendor of such surroundings coupled with the illustrious company leaves me almost faint. Ah, they have a blanc manche in the shape of a galleon. And how were your journeys here today? Yeah, I don't know why she talked about that, but yeah, fine girl. That's why they were all like, what? Okay. And how were your journeys here today? She was talking about, she was talking about a horse, okay? Like suddenly. And how were your journeys here today? I know Lady Francesca and the barony of Soir is the furthest from Dacre. In so many ways. I thank you for your concern, my lady, but we made good time even with the extra carriage my father sent with my luggage. You had a whole carriage just for your clothes? Oh my god, I think she's probably like, but of course, did not you? Well, our carriage is so large. My nurse said there was little point in bringing more than a dozen dresses. She's too naive, this girl. But she could actually be doing this for people to actually think she is naive, and she isn't. You know, like, you never know what type of people you get in here. Only a dozen. Why, it is almost as though you are poor. Indeed, you need at least 14, one for each day. You do not plan to change for dinner? I brought over 20. 20? Oh dear, Lady Charlotte, perhaps you can send home for some more. And you, Lady de Parisi? Saints have mercy. I hardly know what lady stoops to packing her own luggage. That was a good retort. Though I freely admit we all arrive in but one carriage, so I doubt it is more than a dozen. Besides, I heard from my mother that the king abhors extravagant displays. He believes those truly sure of their superiority show their standing in subtler ways. But of course, I merely prefer to have a selection at hand. Quite so. Oh, thanks be, I was quite worried I was to be underdressed. My poor mother would have been so ashamed. Well, there is no need to have any concerns on that front. If you will excuse me, ladies. I make good my escape while I have the chance and find myself a quiet spot against the wall to fend off the impeding headache. 2 weeks of such pointless snipping looms ahead of me, perhaps I should not have been so eager to dismiss Frederique off to the cards. Still, I cannot hide here all night. There are a few other people in the room I recognize, and I spend the rest of the evening taking pains to greet them and renew my acquaintances with the rest of the court. Ah, there you are, sister. Things seems to be drawing to a close here. Shall I escort you back? Escort me? Don't tell me you are actually planning to mind what mother says. No, not mother, but I do think poor Bastien might collapse with nerves if I lost you. How went cards? Well enough. There are some remarkably good players here, especially among the servants. The servants? Don't tell me you lost. Just enough to keep me sharp. So, how did you like the prince? Very well. He was quite charming. Fine, he seemed very reserved. Not at all, he bore me to tears. It does not matter. It is my duty to pursue him. I would say, like, he was reserved. We could not get much from him. More like that. I didn't thought there was something wrong with him either. I think it was just like, it was few the time we spent together. And we were just kind of like trying to be polite with each other and doing that kind of like small talk. So yeah, I cannot say much about him. I imagine it would take some time to know him better. Well, you have another 2 weeks to change your opinion or fortify it. Did you meet anyone else of note? A young lady, a commoner, would you believe? Yeah, that too. And that too. Yeah, we met Duke. I don't know, because I got the feeling that his family, his house, might actually be a rival of ours. So maybe I should actually talk about this. The Duke of Treman, mother, would have a fit if she knew. Yeah, I was kind of like, I kind of feel like they might be rivals. What do you know of him? Only what mother repeats, really, that he spends much of his time at the court trying to rebuild his house's reputation and connections. Apparently the king is almost warming to him. Well, he must be if the duke managed to secure an invitation here. Outside of that, I know little more than rumors. I have met him on only a handful of occasions. We hold company in different circles. Ah, and here is your room. Frederique comes to me like that. Frederique leans forward to place a kiss upon my forehead, leaving a lingering scent of sandalwood and brandy. Sleep well, Minette. The morning arrives along with a maid to help me dress, another bringing breakfast not long after we have finished, and I am on to my second cup of tea when a familiar figure appears around the door. Good morning, sister. Did you sleep well? Really, my lord, you should knock before entering. Your sister could have still been abed. What nonsense. I'll never see the day Irina gets up later than I do. I do wonder if they are really brother and sister or if it's like another situation. Because I wouldn't mind to date Frederique. But I mean, if he's our blood-related brother. No, not at all. In fact, like, especially like the Japanese love to do that, you know, like the brothers thing, you know, the oni-chan and oni-san and all, like, but yeah, I am not into that thing, you know, so, but I'm just wondering if we are not blood related. Yeah, maybe. I slept well enough, thank you, Frederique. I have spare cups here, come in, have some tea. The man approached Frederique, throwing himself into the nearest seat, while Bastien hovers awkwardly at the table. Oh, you are thinking that when the Japanese do that, it's not with blood related. Well, let me tell you, yeah, they do have some. I've played games, Japanese games, where they are actually blood related, even if it's just like from the father or the mother. And yeah, they actually have that, although it's completely like taboo for us. Okay. Yeah, but I've played Otome games. I mean, the Otome games. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that I am not into that thing. Like when it gets like that, I'm like, okay, if they are not blood related, it's like, okay. Although for me, it's still kind of like, I don't know how to put it. For me, it's still awkward, especially if they passed a lifetime together. But it's the same thing. I told you, it's the same thing when it's the childhood friend. I don't know, it's kind of awkward for me to think like I passed the whole life with that person, like it was a brother or it was a really close friend. And then suddenly one day I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh, now I like this person. You know, it's awkward for me. It doesn't, I don't know, not for me. You know, it's just, I don't feel it. Well, sit down then. I really should not. Don't be ridiculous. Now we're here without my mother or your father breathing down our necks. We need not to be formal. Indeed, now how do you take your tea? Indeed, now how do you take your tea? Sorry. I could not possibly let a young lady of Irina's rank serve me. Rank indeed, you forget too easily you are a gentleman in your own right, Bastien. So maybe we can date. I still don't know who we can date in here. So it's probably like the prince. Maybe we can date Bastien. We know that there are 2 ladies that we can date too, and 2 more guys. Okay. Oh, fine. I shall do it then. Sugar, lemon. Frederique, you are getting tea everywhere. Sorry, sister. All right, Lady Irina, if you would be so kind. Bastien drops hastily into a seat and receives his cup with a nod. So DPT is practically a bow. A bow, sorry. Bow. It's practically a bow. So what is planned today? I believe the prince has arranged a walk about the palace gardens followed by a picnic in the late afternoon. Oh good, another meal where I get to sit and watch my sister starve. Do not worry, Frederique, you are always kind about hiding food in napkins for me to eat afterwards. Our brother is kind of like sweet. He seems like a rebel too, but I kind of like those. Well, please ensure that is the case on this occasion as well. I do not agree with these expectations, but it is not our place to judge them, and your behavior will be under even greater scrutiny today. Even greater scrutiny? What are they going to do? Follow me about with telescopes? You are doing well so far. I would see you build upon this advantage. Fine, fine. You need not labor the point. Anyway, at what hour does the prince expect us? Just before noon. Excellent. Well, I'm going to take a walk down to the kitchens and get some breakfast. Breakfast? But the maid just brought a tray to your room. You ate the lot? Oh, that wasn't enough for a growing boy like me. Would you like anything, sister? Actually, I might come too. They'll probably be preparing the picnic baskets. I might be able to slip something inside, like wine. Why do we keep being like this girl? Why? I like wine too. I cannot right now because of my disease, but in fact, I love wine. But I'm just like, you know, but she has an issue, okay? She has an issue. Or a live mouse? Okay. No, please, my lady, no mischief. Bastien's warnings jovially ignored, I take what entertainment I can from my free time while it lasts, before my brother and I join the other guests at the palace steps, as invited, to set out on our walk about the gardens. The palace grounds are extensive, with many wooded walks upon the outskirts, and I am quite enjoying the day strolling beside my brother, the prince bringing up the rear of our group and swamped by a gaggle of simpering girls. And this was also kind of a common thing, like to walk in the gardens of the palace. It was a very common thing to be done by the nobility, yes. A chorus of well-rehearsed giggling erupts behind us for the dozenth time. My brother throws a critical frown over his shoulder. I see he's as popular as ever. Should you not be back there too, sister, fluttering your eyelashes at him or some such nonsense? That which is lightly given is lightly valued. Let him work a little if he wants one of my smiles. Okay. Huh. You are wasted on this company. By this day, is that not Pierre Lamont? Pierre Lamont, walking beside that young woman ahead of us. I have not seen him since he left the university. I had heard he had married. That must be his wife. You can go and speak with him if you like. You do not mind? Come as well, and I shall introduce you. No, I am here for a purpose, not pleasure. Go on, off with you. With an encouraging slap on the back, propelling him forward, my brother leaps from my side to jog lightly ahead and greet his friend, leaving me alone. I hardly mind the solitude. Hours at home would be spent the same, usually by my mother's design, as I studied my lessons, played the harp, and even rode my horse without any useless distractions. The day is warm for the season, and I am glad for the shade of the trees, the occasional shaft of light breaking through the canopy to strike in gold across the gloom. Ahead, Lady Sophia is walking with a pair of stately older ladies who appear to be deep in talk. Charlotte, Francesca, and Albertine trailing after them, looking thoroughly bored, and I can see Duke Leopold strolling to my right, almost in the tree line. I suppose I could attempt to acquire another company if I wish it. Okay, try to get Sophia's attention. Okay, Sophia. Try to catch Leopold's eye. Attempt to join Charlotte, Francesca, and Albertine. Just walk alone. Oh my god, like if I could just like be alone, I would actually prefer it, but I don't think that's what the game wants, so it's just going to continue. It's not like I need an escort, and at least this way I don't have to trouble myself making conversation. Yeah, I would like be like, I just want to breathe. Something inside me, some coiled readiness for an anticipated performance, ebbs away, and for one gentle instant, I am allowed to enjoy the peace of the woods about me without worries of the court of my family. Lady Irina. Oh, the prince came to us. Okay. Your Highness, I thought we agreed on Guillaume. You are alone? Only momentarily. My brother went to speak to an old university friend. Indeed. Well, please allow me to walk with you until he returns. Are you sure your entourage can spare you? My entourage. He glances back to the group of now scowling young ladies who had once been in his orbit. So I like this. Ah, freaking font is killing me. Yes, they agreed they did not wish to see you without company. Is that so? They are all consideration. They are all consideration. I will have to thank them later. Okay. I must confess, I am surprised that you were left alone long enough for me to approach. A young lady such as yourself must have many suitors. No, indeed, my mother scares them all away. One glorious moment when all reserve and propriety are forgotten in an unrestrained burst of laughter. Excuse me, my lady, for my outburst. No apology is needed, though I must assure from your reaction that you have met my mother. That I have, but I will add that I believe your favor must be worth the challenge. It will need not. It will need to be. It will need to be. I pause between us, and we let the shared warmth of our amusement fade before returning to the expected niceties. But pray tell me, Prince Guillaume, how are you enjoying the celebrations of your birthday so far? Very well, thank you. It is pleasant to get out into the palace grounds. I fear I have little time for such diversion usually. The court must keep you busy. I heard from my mother you have been undertaking more of His Majesty's duties in these last few weeks. It is so. I need to learn more of the kingdom, and my father believes a trial by fire to be the best teacher. By the virtues, His Majesty must be ever so wise. Perhaps it is, if you are the only one to be burned by it. And what does your Highness think? The prince pauses, as though this question is not one he is accustomed to answer. Well, I think that I should have preferred a more structured devolvement of duties that increased over time, but I fear my father was not in agreement with me. From what mother described, you have much to occupy you now. Not so much, but I fear my inexperience and the complications I have encountered have kept me busy. One of the matters now under my jurisdiction is to manage aspects of the kingdom's budget, though it seems that promises may have been made before my arrival which appears to be in conflict with one another. Ah, so the king has been playing the members of his cabinet off against one another. A fine juggling act, if one can keep all the balls in the air. I'm sure it is no secret now, but the Minister of Defense has been promised coin enough for 2 new warships, while the Minister for Trade has the same assurances of new roads from the capital all the way to Borneo and Ocean. Well, I am sure whichever you decide will be the right decision, Your Highness. I am sorry I know little of such matters. It does not matter what you decide, only that you do. Like, I don't want to pass by someone that doesn't care. And this might be taken as, like, one thing it would be me saying that this, but adding, like, but I know you are someone that, like, a combination of these two would be kind of like ideal. Because putting it like this, it seems like you don't care and you don't actually really care. Sorry. This one is kind of like, I'm just leaving it in your hands. I don't know, like, okay. I wouldn't choose it like that, but yeah. Yes, my things. See, like, because he feels burdened right now. He feels the burden of it. So it would have to be like a combination of both of them, which is like, I am sorry that I'm not in knowledge of what's going on in, with politics, but in this case, but I do hope that you are going to take the right decision, Because with this answer, he's just going to feel burdened. I. Sister, forgive me, I quite lost track. Oh, Your Highness. Ah, and your brother has returned. Well, it has been a pleasure, my lady. Please excuse me. Sorry, I suppose I should have kept away and allowed you longer to talk. No matter, Frederique. Now, how does your friend? Let me just I haven't done a save in here. Well, let's do one. Like when I'm playing the demos, like I rarely save, and I've been saving lately a lot more since we got like that situation with the bad ending, because I keep forgetting that you can get bad endings during the demos, and it's a hassle because I need to skip everything again, and you're just like in there seeing the skipping. It's a hassle. So that's why I've been kind of like trying to memorize like the situation, which is like try to save more, because I always take it like, oh, it's a demo, so I don't need, but it's better if I do it. Our walk concluded, the prince leads us back to where the servants have already set out a grand picnic on the palace lawns. My brother finds a place beside me, Duke Leopold and Lady Sophia seating themselves across from us, while the prince is surrounded by as many young ladies as can fit upon the picnic blanket, and the group settles to enjoy the feast. Well, everyone but the eligible young ladies, of course. Oh, nothing for me, thank you. I am still full from breakfast. You managed breakfast? Why, I couldn't take a bite since dinner yesterday. You ate yesterday? Why, I haven't been able to force another morsel since that early supper 3 weeks ago last Mardi. Why are we acting like this? I know, but we do not need that, girl. No. In fact, I actually wanted to be different in here. I wanted to say like, yeah, I did eat a bit, like you don't have to say that you ate a lot, but... Gosh, really, I should be terribly hungry. As would I, Lady Charlotte, and to think the kitchens went to such trouble to prepare this banquet for us. Yeah, that's why I was like, I think it would be better to just say, yeah, I ate a bit, that's... Yes, they had like that etiquette kind of thing, which you would just like take little bit bites and, yeah, it was like that. But I mean, it was kind of fine for you to say, yeah, I ate a soup or something, something very light. You could just say something like that. You didn't have to just say, oh, I didn't eat nothing for days. It's a bit extreme. That is to say, perhaps I could enjoy a little food. Indeed, it would be a shame to waste it. And they actually ate. They are saying this, but they actually ate. It's just, it was kind of like an etiquette kind of thing, okay? But I mean, you didn't need to say like, oh, it's been like a week since I last ate or something, About me, the ladies all leaned forward to hover over the arrangement of dishes. A silent war declared and battle as each attempt to select the most minute morsel and then make it last the same length of time as a 4-course dinner. I don't even bother with that. I know from experience that eating only a little here will leave me ravenous, and I distract myself with thoughts of the slightly squashed feast. I know my brother will be fishing from his pockets for me later. Thank you, brother. On the blanket opposite, Albertine lowers a nibble pastry to her plate and sighs dreamily. The gardens here are so beautiful. I wish I could walk about them for longer. I am sure no one here would wish to impede your pleasure, Lady Albertine. By all means, take your leave. Yeah, of course. That I could, Lady Francesca. But I fear I could not walk another step today. We cannot all be blessed with so robust a constitution as yourself. Like snakes, like... The prince's shoulders bobs in what could have been the slightest of sighs, and I feel pity swell in my heart. Pray, which part of the gardens did you favor the most, Lady Albertine? Sorry. Oh, well, I like them all in such a myriad of ways, I could hardly select just one. Sorry. Feeling it. Was there... Oh, I forgot my water. Was there a particular area of the grounds you enjoyed, Lady Irina? The woods, I liked the feeling one could lose oneself in them. The topiary, it was ordered and yet fantastical. The rose garden, I imagined it would be breathtaking in bloom. I am not the rose garden type of person. I am not. Maybe because I don't think I am the most enthusiastic about roses. I am not. I know most women love roses, but I'm not. I think there are a lot of other flowers that are very pretty, and we just keep giving this importance and I don't know, gleam to the roses, and I'm not the biggest fan of roses. The covered trellises, the blooming azaleas have a divine scent. Okay, that would be better. The lawns, I prefer more open spaces for walking and games. Yeah, sure, why not? Yes, that was my favorite as well. The city's park in Garlucio has many azalea bushes, with some important all the way from Chanois. The city park, oh, how nice that you are able to enjoy the pleasure of a garden along with the other commoners. As for myself, I prefer... a bee! Oh no, don't let it come near me. I used to be very afraid of them. I still don't feel comfortable about them. Yeah, but I used to be very, very afraid. But I was already bitten like 3 times. So I think I reached a point where I started seeing that it was like, okay, it's fine, whatever, just bite me. After the 3rd one. So nowadays, I am more tolerant with things like age gives you that too. You're more intolerant with certain things that like produce you a certain stress, like at work and all of it. But at the same time, you are more tolerant with things that are just natural. Do you understand? Like natural things, and you start like being a bit more tolerant. I'm scared, get it away. Yeah, of course, I would still be uncomfortable. Yeah, but I faint. It is merely a bee. Have you heard about those awful... Do you want to scare them more? Okay. Yeah, we could do something a little bit... Oh my god. Sorry. Those foreign bees which are establishing themselves in our lands, they were brought over on ships importing fruit from Aphysia. They call them slayer bees because of their terrible sting. Slayer? Oh, but do not worry, they do not really kill. No, it is merely a pain so excruciating you wished you were dead. Suddenly, half the girls are screaming and stumbling over themselves in their efforts to escape. The picnic trembled in the chaos. Because I prefer to be like this. I prefer to be like the one that... But that's me. You know, I am the person, I like to work in the shadows. Yeah, that's me. So I like to be the person that for everyone, I am like that person that looks to be like, you know, devoted and fine and doing everything like reserved and all of it. But then behind you're like the manipulative type of person. Okay, and I'm not saying that I like that when I'm searching for a love interest, I'm looking for that type of guy, because I usually don't like when they are like double face or manipulative. I'm just saying that me, myself, I have that trait of like, let me see how I'm going to do this in a way where I might transform the situation. Yeah, I kind of have that inside of me. But I always feel like I need to make everyone comfortable around me first, kind of like everyone sees me as like a totally normal person, like a good person, normal person, you know, like, and then you just You have like you say like things like this, you know, and then you are like internally laughing. You know, you're not even laughing outside in your face. It's just internally laughing. Yeah, that's kind of like me. Calm down, please. These Ephesian bees are no threat to us. They prefer much warmer climes. Yeah. So I already told you, I am not a good person. I am not. Indeed, and their sting is no worse than a wasp's. Or so I heard from my father. Order slowly descended once more, but the picnic is past saving, and the prince instructs the servants to clear it away as we make the return to the palace. Ah, what do I care? It is not as though I was enjoying the food. Lady Irina? It is the Duke again, but I am too flushed from my mischief to feel wary right now. Ah, Duke Leopold, did you enjoy the picnic? Indeed I did, and much more after your roguery. Roguery? I was merely hoping to warn my fellows of potential... To warn... Sorry, I think it's like warn, right? My fellows of potential danger. At no point did I say the bee who had joined us was any threat. Poor little bee, I do hope it was able to enjoy some of the picnic before the servants took it away. They work so hard this time of year. You are all consideration, my lady. Ah, sister, there you are. I feared I had quite lost you in the chaos. My brother's almost perpetual smile disappears in an instant. Oh, Duke Leopold, it is a pleasure as always. Lord Frederique, likewise, I am sure. I was just attending to your sister. Some of the other ladies seemed quite distressed. I thank you, my lord. Well, I believe we should be returning to the palace with the rest of the court. Indeed, please allow me to escort you both until we reach the guest wing, at least. There is little we can say to that, the young duke keeping up a friendly chatter all the way to my door. Ah, you have returned early. I was just unpacking the last of your things. The picnic was cut short by a terrifying bee attack. The party was swarmed by bees. Hardly. There was one, and it was mostly minding its own business. Not that the other girls thought so. I was just chatting with Lord Steer? I don't know. And suddenly everyone was screaming. I cannot believe a single bee would get them so hysterical. Perhaps they are allergic. What? All of them? And then, as we are walking back, Duke Leopold comes to escort Irina and refuses to leave us until we are at the very door. Okay, give me just a second. Okay, I was having like an issue with the headphone in here. Bastien straightens suddenly on guard. Duke Leopold, do you know him well? Not specially. He seems to have taken an interest in you, my lady, or to something in your possession. Yeah, I would try to actually not get very near this guy because I do believe he's a schemer. We are rival houses, and he would actually try to get next to me just to probably get the possessions that our house is holding. So yeah, I would be kind of like cautious about this guy, this duke. I mean no disparagement on your many charms when I say that to some young men here, the high esteem in which your family is held by both the court and the king may be your most appealing aspect. Yes, mother has told me the same 100 times, albeit with a lot more conceit. I will be wary. Well, there is nothing planned for this evening, so I would suggest you use the time to get some rest and retire early. Shall I ask the maid to serve my dinner in here? Please do. My brother bounds from the room with his usual exuberance. Bastien's stately bow could not be in greater contrast. Well, I shall retire to my own quarters, my lady. Fine, have a pleasant evening. I was never much the butler. The butler type is usually is not much my type. Yeah, it's usually not much my type. The butler ones. I think it's because as I said, I prefer the guys that are kind of like more mischief and libertine. That's why I was like considering our brother. I like them more like that than actually like these types of the devoted, and they are always in there for you. And I'm not so much into them. Fine, have a pleasant evening. You are not having dinner with us. Okay, no, I'll spend with my brother. Of course, sleep well, my lady. Okay, it was the end of the demo. But I felt like this was actually not a bad one. But if they had a way for me, if they had a way for me to change the freaking font, but they do not have. They only have this. See, like for instance, if they had put in like this type of font, I would totally be okay with it. But I understand why they did it in that way. It was to have like a similarity to the writing of that time. But it's hard. It's for me, okay. For me, it was really hard to read. I think I was kind of like more getting used to at the end, but really hard. And I totally understand if you put a dislike on the video because it was really hard for me. But yeah, in terms of like the game in itself, I didn't dislike it. I thought it was pretty okay. Yes, the English in here, it was like an English more like an ancient type of English, like to fit more the history. But it was cool. It was totally fine. So this one, as I said, is completely out and it's even a bit old, but it's not very expensive. It's not very expensive. So if you like think about it, it might be something that you might actually enjoy for yourself. So yeah, I will probably go now. And then we'll come back later, okay? Because I really have to today. So thank you very much, and we'll see each other later. Thank you.